Hello, second graders. It's time for social studies, and we are continuing to study American symbols. And we are going to start today with a little guessing game. I am going to show you a picture of a U.S. symbol, and you are going to shout the name of it at the screen. Are you ready? And while you're shouting those names at me, I also want you thinking of all those great facts that you learned about each symbol. Let's begin. What is the name of this U.S. symbol? I started with an easy one. What's its name? You guessed it, the American flag. And remember, the American flag has symbols within the symbol. We have 50 stars that represent the states, yes, and 13 stripes that represent the 13 original colonies. Great job. Let's go on to the next symbol. We have the dun, 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 Statue of Liberty. Did you get that right? And remember, she's also known as Lady Liberty. And those 7 spikes on her crown represent the 7 continents or the 7 seas. Good job. Let's move to the next symbol. What is the name of this bird, our national bird? The bald eagle. Excellent. And remember, they had to vote on which bird would best represent the United States. Remember, another choice was the turkey. Aren't you glad that we chose the bald eagle because it shows such bravery and courage? And this monument we learned about yesterday. And this U.S. symbol's name is Mount Rushmore. How many of you remember that name? And remember, they had to decide on 4 different U.S. presidents that each represented something different. Remember, George Washington was the first. He represented that beginning of America because he was our first president. And Abraham Lincoln helped bring the United States together. Okay, so each president was picked for a specific reason, right? They didn't just put random faces on the monument. Okay, let's go on to our new symbol of today, for today. Now, do any of you know this symbol's name? Okay, it's called the Liberty Bell. And long ago, if you could imagine this, people did not have televisions or internet to find out important news. The easiest way to let people know that something important was happening is they would ring a bell. And the sound of that bell could be heard through towns and even in the countryside. And when people heard that bell, they gathered together in the center of town and they would find out important news. They also would ring bells to warn people of an attack or other dangers because remember, they couldn't text each other. So bells were very important. But this bell started out as just an ordinary bell. The people in Philadelphia decided they wanted to put a large bell in the state house, and there weren't any bell makers in the city. So Philadelphia had to get a bell all the way from England, and it came across the ocean and it was delivered by a ship. And people came from all over the city to hear this new bell ring. And they were in for a very, very sad surprise. When the bell was rung, it did not make a loud, beautiful sound. Instead, the sound was dull. And the people were very sad by it, and they realized the bell had a crack in it. So they had to take it apart and melt it down and make another bell. And they did this twice because it cracked again the second time. And the reason why it's become so important and it's a famous symbol of American freedom is because they say this bell and other bells were rung when the Declaration of Independence was read. So it was read out loud for the first time and this bell was rung. And the Declaration independence is so important. We even celebrate it every July 4th with fireworks. Independence Day is because America got its independence from England, and then we became our own country. So this is a very important symbol of freedom. We got our freedom from England and became our own country, America. So we say America was born. Okay, great job, second graders. Great job listening. I'm going to read you a quick book on the Liberty Bell, and then you're going to do a fun activity in Seesaw. Okay, so we have our table of contents. What is the Liberty Bell? A free country, freedom for all, and glossary. Glossary is where we get the definition of words, to learn more, and index. What is the Liberty Bell? The Liberty Bell is an American symbol for freedom. It is in Philadelphia. Words on the bell state all people are free. And those are the parts of the Liberty Bell. I see yoke, crack, message, and the clapper. The bell has a crack. It does not ring anymore. A free country. The Liberty Bell was made in 1752. It rang for special events. There is a legend it rang in 1776. The sound stood for America's freedom. Remember that freedom from England. Freedom for all. Long ago, it was called the State House Bell, and that's Pennsylvania State House. People who fought slavery named it Liberty. Early women voters used it as a symbol too. Today, people still seek freedom. The bell's message remains important. The Liberty Bell gives hope of freedom for all. Okay, second graders, great job listening to all those facts about the Liberty Bell. Now you get to do something super duper fun. You're going to go into Seesaw, and there's directions for how to draw a Liberty Bell. So you'll need a piece of white paper and something to draw with. And then when you're done, you could post your picture on Seesaw. I can't wait to see them.